Another episode, and today we are joined by Craig Madden. How you doing, mate?
Good, I'm good.
And we've got another guest coming on in about 20 minutes as well, and Bastick. The invite sent, so yeah, we'll just wait for that. But yeah, man. So how's prep treating you at the moment?
Yeah, it's easy work, really.
Yeah, you're not really giving us a lot of updates.
It's because there's not much to update, really. I just get.
No, I get that.
I just said on my Instagram story there that I've just thought to myself, I've actually dropped 32 pounds now in actually less than 8 weeks. So that's more than a £3 drop per week, but it doesn't actually feel like the weight's come off that quickly.
Yeah, but that's normal when you weigh 300 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But even me at 270, I dropped like 20 pounds, like fucking really quick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Usually you'd have an initial drop. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, mate. £3 a week is fairly it's like
pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not £3 a week, is it? Because you drop like 7 the first week.
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. That didn't actually happen with me.
Yeah.
Which was quite unusual. Like it took a few drops in calories before I actually saw a weight drop.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I needed to be at a certain point before obviously I dropped.
It seems to have gone
quite surprising, really, given that I dropped Lantus out as well at the same time. So it was as if the Lantus wasn't really doing much for me.
You were holding on to weight quite a lot, weren't you? And it seems to be going quite a lot faster now.
Yeah.
One of the questions I got on my Q&A today was everyone's favourite, but where you haven't been on the podcast for a while, mate. What's your current cycle?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's favourite
cycle, but I can't divulge that. Just a second while I put my volume up because I can't hear you. Right, so current cycle is testananthate at 600 milligrams, primo ananthate at 600 milligrams, tren ananthate at 225 milligrams, masteron ananthate at 450 milligrams. They're the anabolics. And then obviously we've got the ancillaries and the thermogenics. So recently added in T3, which started at 25, is now at 37.5 for the last couple of days. Cleanse at 80 mcg. And we've got a little bit of Proviron in there at 25 milligrams a day. And that is that's everything. Oh, T4 at 150 mcgs as well. But I'll take that around anyway.
So the injectable's at 1.7 grams, by my reckoning.
Yeah, round about that.
That's all right.
What about yours, Chad? Who's got the most?
It's got to be you, right?
Well, mine's gone down. Mine's gone down because my test was at 700 when we started out, and now it's down to 400.
What was the thinking behind that?
Huh?
What's happened there? Why?
I think just for estrogen, just because you don't need it as much, do you? Like it. I guess it's easier to manage, and as you get leaner, you're probably better off rather than adding an AI. Just pull down your test a little bit,
Where's your masteron at?
Masteron is at 700, so we haven't upped that.
Oh, that's pretty high, yeah.
Yeah, and then tren is at 300. So
yeah. He brought my testosterone down to 200 now.
Yeah.
But exactly, because it's all relative. What 700 for me is 450, 500 for your off season. So then in prep, you bring it down just to manage that estrogen a little bit more.
Definitely. And the unfortunate reality is because of my gyno, I've got to manage it. So I've got fucking Arimidex in, tamoxifen in, Abel's going in, which you obviously don't want to be doing, but
no,
I have to manage it some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? So yeah. But
I don't think I convert to estrogen as heavy as potentially you two do, because I've usually run 600 milligrams of testosterone throughout the whole prep, and I've still come in, very dry and lean, and not really seen any, negative effects from that dose. Tom's talked about 1,000 milligrams before now, running into the show just for the added fullness. So yeah, potentially.
Well, I run my test high in the off season. Like I ran it up to 1 gram, but not in prep. And as I started to get heavier, body fat started to go up. We brought it down.
Yeah,
just because you're going to convert more.
Yeah, of course. But everybody's different, aren't they, in the amount they convert? So
yeah,
it's very individual.
It's annoying. I just can't. Like I think in the off season, the highest I went was 500. And I can always feel my nipples still like fucking.
Yeah, but then you just make it up with other stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I keep my main compound is testosterone, so I keep test. I start the off season with just tapering it. So I just start at seven. They say 7, 8, 9, 1,000, and then at that point I'll stay at 1,000. When my body fat starts to go higher, I'll drop the test to say 700 and put EQ instead. You know, it's like it's one of them things. As long as your milligrams are sort of around the same, then it's fine.
What's your opinion, Craig, on EQ and like the bad rap that it gets?
I think it gets a bad rep through studies, basically, and not through actual application. I've used Equipoise for a number of years, on and off, and I've always seen great results from it. So I know, obviously, it does have the potential to raise your hematocrit, which obviously is going to negatively affect your blood panel. But for me, stacking it alongside testosterone and maybe a DHT like MPP is a fantastic cycle. It's a cycle that I've run many a times.
I give blood. I always give blood, so that brings it down.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're going to run telmisartan, that's gonna bring it back down. Yeah. So
there's always going to be
a little bit of baby aspirin is going to help. So it's always like saying, oh, you shouldn't run whatever compound because it gives you such and such side effect. Yeah, they all have side effects. It's kind of.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see it as the horse steroid, don't they? So it's like, well, humans shouldn't be using it because it's meant for horses. Well, trends obviously use.
Yeah, but so is
for what cows? So you could say the same argument there.
But I'm going to be honest. I don't know the answer to this, Chad. So you being someone who is a fairly heavy steroid user, how the hell are you giving blood, and how does that work?
What do you mean? How does that work? You turn up, you give
blood. You're giving blood that's pretty fucking loaded up, mate.
Yeah, you obviously lie because you tick the box. It's like you got to do like a whole questionnaire thing of like, have you done this in the last 3 months? Have you done this? Have you done this? And you just say no.
So there's potentially someone who's getting a blood transfusion from you.
No, because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. They put it through like a filter, and they'll extract what they want. So they might want the platelets, so they might want like the red blood cells, or whatever they want. It doesn't work. It's not like you're getting live blood direct. That's not how it works. They put it because they can't trust you that or that you're certain. I mean, you might have fucking AIDS. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
So they always have to. So they're not going to bother testing it. So the easiest thing to do, put it through like one of those machines, and it just filters it out, and they just. Because obviously it's called a mass spectrometry. So essentially, all the particles travel at a certain speed. So they're like, right, well, the red bloods travel at X speed. We're like, right, now we know that we've extracted all them. And they just put it into clear plasma and you get it.
I actually didn't know that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So
have you ever given blood?
Me? No.
Never given blood.
I think I'd faint on the spot, honestly. Just thought of giving blood. Actually.
It's funny, isn't it? Because injecting yourself is fine.
Yeah.
Coming out.
I can inject my biceps, no problem at all. Yeah, which a lot of people flinch at. But yeah, giving blood. Absolutely.
Well, I've got blood type B minus, which is like really rare. Right. So they're constantly fucking pestering. Like I'll book in to get an appointment, and I'll go and give it, and like 2 days later they'll look at me like, yeah. Do you want to book your next one? I'm like, bro, I can't. It's 3 months time. Yeah, just book it in anywhere. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking book it online when I want to. Fuck off.
When you give blood, how do you feel like the day and the days following? Any different?
No.
It was the same.
So it doesn't affect your training or anything like that.
Huh?
It doesn't affect your training or anything like that.
Oh,
the same day.
No, because remember, let's say they take out. Obviously, you can't train because you've got a big old fucking bruise on your arm.
Yeah.
But I'll go in after I train, and normally, like obviously they'll take a pint. So it's 500 ml. Yeah. So it's like about this big of a bag. So then, yes, they're taking the volume of blood, right? But what you do is once you rehydrate, it just goes back in. You drink half a liter of fucking water. It's not. So
Again,
plus you're not losing fucking liters and liters of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, I didn't know this. This is a bit of a school day for me, man. I don't really know this. I've never ever cared to look into it at all ever.
Well, look, it's a good thing to do. For one, it's good. It's a good thing to do, and also it helps you obviously bring down your red blood count. So win-win, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once you start doing it, it just becomes second nature.
Yes.
It's like
I literally check on the blood donor thing, like, when can I next give blood? Oh, well, 2 weeks time. All right, you can do it once every 3 months.
Okay.
So I typically tend to kind of like sync it with my blood work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my blood count's never high. Because people talk about hematocrit, but there's also other stuff. Like, it's not just your hematocrit, hemoglobin, all of that stuff. That goes along with all the red count. They take all that. So,
oh my god, this dog is in a minute, right? So I'm gonna start working through some of these questions from today.
Yeah.
So the first one is, there you go. How does a natural bodybuilder prep differ from an existing person prep?
Next question.
And how would you approach it?
Oh, let's not talk about that. Who gives a fuck about natural bodybuilders? No, but I'm not being funny, but like,
no, come on.
It's basically just a long.
How does a natural? I don't know. I don't fucking trust naturals. I don't work with naturals. Fuck naturals.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. Frank, I'll answer the question without.
Yeah.
Bro, it's exactly the fucking same. When they go, how does what should I do if I'm natural? Bro, exactly the fucking same thing that we all do.
But hold on a minute.
I think there are some differences.
Well, not really, are there? What differences? Right, okay, go on.
Well, a natural person is absolutely more prone to losing muscle.
Yeah.
Fatigue management is going to be different. How hard they can push, cardio output.
Okay, so as a natural, you don't get as fat in the off season. So then, as we do, because then you haven't got the time. You need longer to diet to preserve that muscle, and you need to be a little. And what?
But the propensity to become more fat when you're natural is easier because you're not going to synthesize food as efficiently.
Exactly. So don't even fucking bother being natural.
Dave, do you like naturals?
Bro, I love natural bodybuilding. No, but fuck that. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you prep as a natural? Look, the process is exactly the fucking same. Yeah. Diet is no fucking different. We're still diet just as hard. We're still train just as hard. We still train exactly the same fucking way. So whether you're natural or not, yes, we've got a little bit more of a advantage when it comes to, like, obviously we can control thyroid and testosterone and certain other things like that. But, Craig,
what do you reckon?
I think that's just it, isn't it? The further you get into a diet for a natural, things like testosterone and thyroid function aren't going to be, as in range as what they were. So that's things that you got to factor in. So you're going to have to, again, like Dave said, the majority of the stuff that you're going to do with a natural, you're going to do with a PED user, but you're just going to have to do it over a longer time period just to preserve muscle tissue and to preserve strength. So you've got to keep a close eye on strength, make smaller changes when you do need to make changes. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. There's nothing major. Obviously, you're not going to get us that round, bubbly look with a natural bodybuilder like you would do with a PED user, but
yeah, just a lot more like longer diet, meaning you can allow for diet breaks. So then you obviously allow yourself a periods of time at maintenance. So
it's basically everything the same, just worse.
Just worse and more boring, and why even bother?
It is. It's slower.
I've got a natural bodybuilder at the minute, and he's been prepping now since New Year, and I think I've made maybe 2 diet changes in the first 8 weeks, just because things have to be a little bit slower. So I've tried to keep food higher, work on the output to begin with, so output's a little bit higher. And the good thing is his starting spot wasn't that bad. So we're now I think we're 8 weeks out. We're in a pretty good spot.
The thing you find with naturals, like,
his genetics are really good as well. So I have got that on my side.
With naturals, you can't allow yourself to get as fat as we can, because again, you can't diet as fast as we can.
Yeah.
And also, I think like once you wreck your insulin sensitivity as a natural, you ain't gonna be making any progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, your testosterone is just going to plummet as well. The
Yeah.
further, the
Right,
leaner
okay.
you get, the hormonal levels is going to be fucked. So
Yeah.
your body's just, to be honest, it's not really going to want to play ball.
This
So
is
here's why I don't think it's the same. I know you say in principle it's the same, yes, but internally there's a lot of
Oh,
shit
it's
that's
not.
not.
It's nowhere near. It's look. I'm talking about as a whole. The body works exactly the same way. It's still a calorie deficit. You're still training exactly the same way, trying to maintain your strength, trying to keep as much of it as you can. It's still the same way, but obviously you just haven't got that support. Which, in fact, I would actually argue natural bodybuilding is unhealthier than enhanced. And then after you're done with your prep, how long it takes for your testosterone to bounce back,
Oh, fuck me,
bro?
yeah.
It's going to
You're
be
looking at fucking
fucked.
4 to 6 months at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree. I agree. I agree. But that's the thing. I think that's what they'll get at. What they get at
I
is,
think as a PED user as well, like, you can really pull fats down to, next to nothing. Whereas, a natural guy,
yeah,
you need some fats in there for hormone support.
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, with someone on site, you can basically just hammer the fuck out of it. You can go fucking hard as hell. You can go high volume. You can go loads of cardio, and you can go low food, and
Yeah.
you're likely to preserve muscle. Whereas naturally, you do have to be mindful of that shit.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
going to waste away
So
into
many
nothing.
less tools to play with as
Well,
well.
they've
So
got no
many-
muscle anyway, so they're not really losing much, you know.
Not all of them. Not all
Most
of them.
natties
Look at
are
Michael
like
Hearn.
130 pounds on stage. So, like, bro, I mean,
Hey, that's true. Look at Michael Hearn. He's proper natural.
yes.
Michael
You
Trent.
know what I mean, fuck me. In a nutshell, it's the same, but way worse. So don't do it. There you go.
Yeah, so just don't bother.
Right, next question. Do you think pushing to be a heavyweight bodybuilder and genetically it's not meant to be is a smart thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, if you're 5'4", you're not going to be a heavyweight, are you?
Sean Clarida.
I mean, bro, he's still like 180 something, isn't he?
He's not a
190.
heavyweight. He's a fucking
He's not a
lightweight.
heavyweight, yeah.
He's how much muscle has he got on that frame though?
Yeah, but
My
he
God.
literally comes in. He comes in at 190 pounds.
Wow. If you look
Yeah.
at him stood on his own, ridiculous. Absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, he's very complete.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. Well, they said that the way that they worded this, right? It's not meant to be. To be honest with you, I don't think any bodybuilder is meant to be. It's not healthy to be like a fucking super heavy bodybuilder. Like to be shredded into 230, 240, 250 pounds is not healthy. So,
and what does he mean when it's not meant to be? If you choose to be a bodybuilder, you try to get as big as you possibly fucking can. It's not like, when those guys are like, oh, I don't want to get too big. Oh, bro, we're all fucking trying our hardest to get as big as we possibly fucking can. And you just, wherever you end up is wherever you end up.
Hey, I remember someone said that to me once upon a time. Someone said, it's good with you because like you don't go too much. Like you're getting bigger, but you don't go too much. And I was like, I'm trying. Like I try as hard as I can, and this is where I get.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that? Is he like, oh, you do men's physique, don't you? Or was that someone else?
I haven't had that for a while. Julian Fernandez said that to me. We had on the podcast. Julian said, he goes, have you ever? He goes, don't get annoyed at me. Have you ever thought about physique? And this was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I lost my shit.
Yeah.
But no, but why would
you? I've got no legs.
Yeah,
like, why would you do well at physique? Physique, you've got to have like disproportionately small waist, which your waist isn't thick, but it's not small. You've got like normal size waist, right? Proportionate to the rest of your physique. You've got to have a disproportionately large arms, which again, your arms are good, but they're not out. They're not 24 inches like for what they need to be for you to be competitive. Like, no, I don't see it. You're a bodybuilder, you know.
The amount of times
really good midsection, but again, not men's physique type bit midsection. You know what I mean?
What were you going to say, Craig? Sorry,
the amount of times that I've got to a bodybuilding show to register, and they've asked basically what class I am, and then they've actually guessed classic. The amount of times that's happened is crazy, and it actually annoys me. It's not that classic bodybuilding is not a good category, but when you're a heavyweight, it's kind of a bit offensive. But the last time it happened was in 2019, and I ended up winning obviously the open bodybuilding class, and then
You
the
should be like, I'm
overall.
doing a disability class.
Yeah.
If they ask me, that's what I'll say. I'm doing this big class. That's what I'll say. I like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, we were talking about this today. Wasn't great. I think because we're as much as we're heavy on stage and we're super heavies, right? Also, when we haven't got that like open look. When I think of an open bodybuilder, I think of like Lewis Breed. You know what I mean? You know, he's just like a fucking lump, like so thick, and we haven't really got that. So I think that's what people.
I think it's
when
the
people
tall
think of
factor, isn't it?
Do you remember, Ryan, when we come and saw you at Exeter? I brought my mate Rob down, and we were out like chatting outside of the venue. And then you come out on stage, and he says to me, "Fuck me, I did not expect that." He said, looking at him in his clothes, he said, I did not think he looks how he does." I'm like, really? I know. Yeah. So it's like but that's normal. That comes with the height.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to remember, like, you're depleted. You're like sucked down. So you're gonna look a little bit.
In clothes, when you're in condition in clothes, you shouldn't look that big. To be honest with you should look a bit like, you know.
Which is why if you're a natural, it's even worse because you don't even look like you train.
Oh fucking hell! But then when they take their top off, they still don't know.
True. Yeah.
I think like going back to this question, I think the most common one is guys who are not classic going into classic just because they're small, basically. It happens so much. Like I was having a conversation with Amy last night about someone that she's posing. He's just a smaller guy. And he was like trying to, you know, I think he was edging towards classic, and it's like, you're not though. You're just fucking not. Like some things are not meant to be. Just because you're smaller, like maybe go away, work on your physique, come back a bit bigger. You know?
Do you know what? Like, I even asked you that, didn't I? I would like to give it a shot just to see, but you're like, nah, your posing sucks, so don't bother.
Well, yeah. To be fair, right? Yeah. So would you agree on that one, Craig? Like
I was going to say, like Chud's physique, especially with the waist taper, etc., very much is classic. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of classic is marked on posing. So if your posing's off, then yeah.
Which mine's Ryan's trying to help me every day, and I send him shots, and he's like, "No." I'll send him a shot again. He's like, "No."
Yeah,
I mean, look, it takes practice. You just said that today, didn't you?
Of course it does.
It's not something that you can just, which is why it's, you know, and it's funny. People always are like, say to me, like, your posing's quite good. I'm like, what makes you say that? They're like, well, I always thought your posing's quite good. I'm like, that's because you don't know what you're looking at.
It's taken me about 7 years to get the quarter turns right, put it that way.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Bro, how long has it taken you?
The hardest.
How long have you been trying to teach me the quarter turns?
Oh, bro.
6 years?
Yeah, it's got to be. When I came to Portsmouth that time, 2017 or 18, I was
2017,
and we're still going.
Before I did my arm. Oh, mate.
I look back now at pictures when I was on stage doing the quarter turns, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I leaning back? You know, why am I leaning away? It's just like.
And do you know what? Do you know what? I actually watched this guy, the one I'm doing a session with tomorrow, and he actually put it in a way that I actually understood it, and I was like, huh. He said, try and like flare your lats and turn with your shoulders. Don't turn with your torso. Don't turn with your hips.
Didn't I tell you that?
Maybe. Fuck knows. I mean, maybe.
I made that video for you 2 days ago.
Yeah, but you waffle on too much. You say too much, so nothing fucking sticks in the end.
How did you said that? I said, look away, flare your lats, and then.
True. Yeah, you did say that, in fact. Yeah.
But do I waffle on too much? I need to fucking trim it.
How many people struggle to get the lats out, though, on front lat spread and back lat spread's not quite as bad, but front lat spread, I always feel like people tense up in the traps and shoulders rather than thinking about, obviously, length and the lats.
Do you know what? This is something that a lot of people do, like on poses.
It's kind of like
Ronnie Coleman does that, doesn't he? He used to do that.
Yeah, he does.
But you should never be doing this, ever, right? If you're doing this in a pose, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're doing a front double and you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Or a side chest, you know, when they go this.
Yeah.
Like, no. Always down. I think one of the big things that I see, okay, two things. two things that always happen and are rarely brought up is bicep position on back double. Okay, so when you tense your bicep like this, compared to this,
Yeah.
like so, what I'm saying is you need to externally
rotate.
rotate your arm to show the bicep peak.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, legs. People do not tense their legs, so they're doing everything else, but their legs just go soft.
Yeah,
it is. Do you get that with your clients as well, Greg? Like your competitive clients?
Yeah, of course. It's quite normal, isn't it? Because they forget about the legs, and then it's all upper then, and it's like, well, think about legs first, get your legs in, and then
they're not forgetting.
Yes,
they're not forgetting, because I struggle with that, and that's what you tell me always. I don't just forget. I don't think. Oh, I just want bother flex. No, it's just like there's just so much shit that you got to think about that it's almost like you just have to practice to the point that it just becomes second nature. Because let's say I flex my quads in let's say I'm in a front relaxed, right, ready to hit the front of a bicep, and you call it front of a bicep, and I'm like, oh shit, front of a bicep. So I start setting up for the upper part. And then my legs flatten out without me even noticing it.
Craig just said it. Craig said it. I teach. That's exactly what I teach. Every single pose start from the floor. So
well, we know that.
Legs in, and then once they're in, that's it. And then whatever you need to do.
We know that, but I think it's easier said than done.
Practice standing there with your legs flexed.
Yeah.
You know, while you're washing up and things like that.
Yeah.
So it becomes natural.
Yeah.
In the shower.
Yeah.
I used to do with Louis is I used to get him to tense his legs in a front double by, and then I would talk to him. I'd ask him questions. I'd be like, "Yeah, see you later on today." And as soon as his brain went to answer the question, his legs, he couldn't multitask. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for years, and he'll even tell you, for years, I used to do this thing to him where I'd try and get his brain elsewhere, but keep his legs in. You know, and it worked.
That's the same as us trying to explain to someone, keep braced when you're doing a deadlift. It's easier said than done. We've done millions of reps of deadlifts over the time we've been training. For you, it switches on. Your body just does it. Yeah. It's practice. It's practice.
Well, I think I'll get annoyed at some of my clients, so I just don't think they take it seriously. So I've been badgering one of my clients to get posing lessons, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it in a bit," kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's the worst thing you can do.
So just book it in. Just book it in and get it done. You know?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be seen as an afterthought. It shouldn't, you know?
No, because you can actually look really good, but if you can't show it,
And it baffles me that you would put all of that effort into never missing a meal, never missing a session, cardio 100%, and then posing. You're like,
yeah.
I guess, you know, if you think back to your earlier days when there were no posing coaches about, and maybe even no coaches, you know, did you practice much with your posing, or was it literally just diet training and then worry about the posing a couple of weeks before? I know it was for me.
I definitely practiced, but not the same as now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you know what I think I did? And I fell in the trap of what a lot of people do. You have one or two poses that you like.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing them.
Yeah. Keep hitting them.
Yeah, you kind of stroke your own ego, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think these days.
But this is it. It's
have a coach.
For me, it's always right, front double bicep, front lat spread, and I'm like, fuck the rest of it. Side chest, I quite like side chest, but side try, ab thigh, forget about it. Fuck that. No fucking way.
Abs and thigh in the off season. Oh my god! I think I hit probably one in 6 months. There's just no point because your stomach comes out and you can't even. You got no mobility because all your shoulders are fucking pumped up.
You lift your tri. It's like I'm gonna fucking tear my tricep off.
What's your favorite and least favorite pose, Craig?
That's a good question. I'd probably say my favorite is the most muscular, the one with the hands on the hips. I do like my front lat spread as well. That's a close second. Worst pose, I would potentially say used to be my side chest, but now probably one of my back ones, to be fair. Although I've brought my back up, I've obviously not seen it on stage yet. So,
all right,
hey, mate,
you looking nice and dark.
Yeah, man, I've got some of that tanning juice on.
What is that? Yeah. What is this Puerto Rican guy done with?
Mate, everyone's been saying
Does it make you feel nauseous? I've never used it.
You get used to it. After a while, you start to just kind of adapt to it, and you don't get it anymore. I only use it in like little microdosages.
Is that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
MP2 injections?
Yeah.
Yeah. You normally take it before bed, but it gives you that horrible like skin rush. But again,
Yeah,
like you say, after a bit, it just
Yeah,
body takes it,
I
doesn't
like
That's-
it. I like it. Man, hello, you coming in?
Tell you another thing it gives you:
We've got-
random hard-ons.
How do you manage to get piss on the top of the toilet cistern?
He's a man.
Like, seriously.
Good going, mate. Fucking good going.
NC2.
He also needs to.
You know what? I've heard about the tan. It gives you like hot flushes.
It gives you
So
bonus.
yeah.
It gives you
For
bonus.
me to
Oh,
take that
yeah.
before
Yeah.
bed,
Yeah.
I already feel hot as it is because of the training and all that. So I can see that being like makes it harder to fall asleep.
No, so I actually use it fasted in the morning.
All right.
Okay.
There's actually some studies suggest it helps with fat loss. Fasted.
What's the half-life on it?
Fuck knows. I don't know.
So what I mean is, like, is it still like active at night, like, or does it sort of like fade by the end of the day, kind of thing? You kind of.
I don't know, but all I know is that if I pin it in the morning, I can still get like erections at night.
I'll look it up.
That's what you just said as well, didn't it? It gives you bonus, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I used to have an office job, I'd be sat at my desk with a boner, and it was like, I can't go to the toilet yet. It's just crazy.
As
Just
you're
random.
dying down, libido comes down, but
Yeah.
in sessions you're using probably a little bit of Cialis and you're using MT2, so it just balances it out. It's great.
Around an hour, actually.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
Might be the Cialis then.
Have you got a boner now?
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have.
Yeah, I haven't even like I haven't thought about. I don't know. I completely like switched off of that.
You've been on like 1 calorie for a while now.
1 calorie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I just completely lost interest. It's like when you like sometimes you think, is that normal? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets that way,
Energy
man.
levels are so low. Obviously, estrogen's low as well. It's going
Just need to. You've only got like X amount of energy, right? And you need to prioritize that energy.
Yeah.
And it's more like I just can't be bothered. I just think, oh no, I can't be asked.
It's extra cardio, though, surely.
It's extra cardio, yeah.
True.
It's true. It's just you just don't.
You need to.
The idea of it, like,
Wait, no. Like, do you remember I said to you on the last podcast? I thought I'm gonna have a wank, right? The other night, like last week at one point, and I was like, put some porn on, and like you just keep scrolling, and I'm like, nope, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna fucking bother. I was like, bro, I didn't even bother. Like, I was just,
you aborted a wank.
yeah.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, but you still sometimes do, don't you? Like sometimes you just think, yeah,
No.
yeah, I do. So then,
Don't
oh, he's lying. He's lying. He's lying.
The only time I've kept my sex drive the whole way through a prep is when I ran Tren really high the whole way.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. I literally had a sex drive the night before the show.
That was like
Really?
900 milligrams or something.
Yeah, for the last 3 weeks, I think it was. Yeah. I just thought as a one-off, let's give it a go, see what happens.
Oh.
He won't have a choice once Tom starts me on the MPP. He won't have a choice.
Yeah, strap me down to the beds.
Do you know what I like if you have sex when you're fucking like near stage condition?
The pump, yeah.
Your body looks like a donut. Whole thing.
Oh, mate. Like, even now, like, after, like, the vascularity going through your body. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, like your stomach is just like.
I've never been in a relationship when I've been on prep. So this, be interesting.
Yeah.
Mate, I can't even imagine 900 meg. Like on 300, I'm sweating constantly. I'm not even eating carbs, and I'm fucking sweating. At night, I'm getting up like, fuck me, like.
If I remember correctly, it was acetate as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm using acetate, but
I wake up at probably about 4 in, go for a piss, and I'm drenched.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night. And then like when you're drenched and you get out of the covers and then it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh mate.
You were sweating last night, but I think that's because you went on the sunbed for 18 minutes. Busy.
Yeah.
You went on the
Jesus.
Man, Bastick, what nationality are you now? What the
I
fuck?
do 24, and I'm still not as dark.
MT2.
Is that a stand-up?
You know what? I'll go as far as say is you literally look like a different person. Right?
Sorry?
You literally look like a different person.
Yeah.
My face my face changes. My face is bulked out today because I've had carbs and insulin. But like yesterday, my face was so fucking gaunt.
I was going to say, you've got a look of James Hollinshead in off-season, I think.
I'll take that.
A slight look of him, yeah.
I'll take that. Have I got his legs as well? Because I definitely don't.
Yeah, his legs are
From your
crazy.
hair, you become Puerto Rican and you're lean.
Yeah.
It's like an overhaul, mate.
Yeah, I'm growing the hair back.
What are you gonna have?
No, keep it shaved. So then we can all. Well, Craig's gonna let us down, but
Why is Craig gonna let him know? You growing yours as well?
Growing mine? You serious?
no,
Yes.
it's obviously
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Well,
Doesn't mind by the looks of things.
When Craig's got his down, he looks like a fucking WWE wrestler.
When
yeah,
it's back though, when it's back, you don't realise you've got.
Yeah,
a lot,
yeah,
and then you
of
go
course.
like that. I'm like, oh shit.
I think it's where the light's hitting it as
Yeah.
well to us.
All right, yeah.
In Ed.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was
Too much
apprehensive.
master on.
I was apprehensive about shaving off, but actually, it's all right. So
Bro,
much easier as well.
I told you a million times.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
No, it
When
looks
I
good.
first started done, even my mum saw me and she was like, "Ooh." I was like, oh, fucking all right.
But listen, once you're in an off season, your face starts to bulk out a bit. You'll hate it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. So you gotta have hair in an off season. You gotta have hair.
Your head did look like a bit of a potato when you had it all shaved.
Mm. But it made me pull that deadlift, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
all
that's
that-
true.
as long
Yeah,
as-
but you look different now. You look different now because your face is slimmer.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember seeing like bouncers and they're fucking, like the head rock.
Yes.
Neck folds.
Yeah. And I used to think, oh, that's terrible. I got it now.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm fucking fuming about it. I look fucking
So
terrible.
fat that your
I
head
see, I
gets
see like a photo of myself from behind and I'm like, oh my God, fuck hell.
Does that ever go? Because I've never been stage lean with the head rolls, but now I've got them all the time. I'm thinking when I'm lean, will the head rolls go?
I think it's to do with what you're trapping. Is it not to do with like muscularity?
Yeah, I don't think it's a fat thing because you know what's that guy Ben Pollock? Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got like his
Is he PH deadlift?
yes.
I've got like scars on my head. That's the only thing.
What from?
Well, some of them are marks, just like normal marks. Some of them are from, I think, playing rugby.
They're more folds.
Yeah,
He
well,
has
Yeah, but that don't matter.
You look like a Sharpay.
yes.
yes.
Legit. Looks like Ruby's face. Bulldog.
Yeah.
Dan, before you come on, we were just talking about what is your favourite and least favourite pose?
Of mine. Favorite pose, probably at the moment, I really like my side tricep.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know, there's something about it actually, it's flowing really nicely at the minute, and I'll probably only like it because I've always been a thick-waisted person, but my waist don't look thick at the minute, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll ride it. Least favorite, this is going to change as I get deeper into prep, but I think still front of a bicep because that left quad is downsized from the injury. So I'm really trying to work around it. It flows nicely, but I'm wondering whether towards the end where you're super depleted, whether it will be, yeah.
He says
You started to bring that quad forward, didn't you?
Yeah, I played around with it a lot. I went to go see Adriano a couple of weeks ago. We made some adjustments to it.
it's not as noticeable as you think, though.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going
what
to
I do.
say that.
Is
It's probably more in your head.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
plant my left leg in front of my right because it's smaller and it kind of.
Yeah,
know,
I did the same. I did the same. Most muscular as well. I do it.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Oh no, least favorite pose. I know what it is. Front relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen you do it.
That's it.
Yeah, because we spoke about it. You said about not liking stretching.
I
Yeah.
can't hide, like I stretched today and it looked better, but then another time I can crunch it down. My abs are detailed. It just makes me look more blocky.
So when I think about like the stretch versus the crunch, who used to do a crunch, and I never liked it, even though he's fucking Phil Heath. Phil Heath does that sort of like punch down. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. Man. I definitely think that stretch because you just like expand your rib cage and makes you look big.
Yeah, you've got a really nice front relax because your delts are super round. Mine in the front relax aren't round, but if I hit a most muscular or hand on hip, my delts are round.
I need that in it sometimes. Like you might have like for example, like you might have a quad sweep from the front poses, and then you turn around and then you like quad sweep just completely fucked off. You're like, what the fuck?
I was looking at it on a couple of my poses before from the back, like my rear delts seem to disappear on the lat spread, but they look very pronounced in the back double bicep. And I just thought,
Where are you
on the lat spread?
when you hit the back double bicep? Where are you looking?
Like with your eyes, where you?
Yeah.
Forward. Yeah.
Sorry.
Forward, just forward.
Just for try looking slightly up,
Right. Okay.
and it might. Just,
Yeah, lean back.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean the more pronounced on the
rounding your
bicep.
shoulder.
It's the lat spread that they disappear, or kind of disappear.
Well, hold on a minute. So you're not yet. So actually, you played around with your lat spread. Do you know, like you can either like roll forward or sort of stand more upright.
Yeah.
If you roll forward, you lose your delts.
Yeah.
It depends because I roll forward and my delts show more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
I need to have a play around with it because they're there.
Looking just above eye level tilts the top part of your torso back just slightly, that your delts do tend to pop slightly more.
Yeah.
What would you
like
guys?
the one with the fists that you do, Ryan.
Say again.
The one when you tuck the fist in.
Oh, the one I did yesterday.
Because it closes that gap between the lat and the arm.
Yeah.
I can't decide which one I prefer on me. It's different. They look totally different.
Yeah.
I'll do a comparison when I next show you boys some updates, and you decide.
When are we going to get the updates then, Dan?
In about 3-4 weeks. I want to wait till I'm in the 240s.
Where are you at now?
At my lowest, I was 253. Then we've obviously done a high day. It's going to be 3 days, no cardio. I've got another high day tomorrow for legs. I think I'll be at about 257, 258.
Is that still the same amount, or is it different?
What do you mean? Amount of
cards for the second card.
It's about plus 700.
Oh.
When I work it out properly, it's about plus 700. This time around, I haven't fucked around with sauces too much. I've kept it like really low fat. My digestion's so much better.
So, high days. What? I'm on the fence with high days. I feel like personally they're overused. I feel like a lot of people doing them when they have no business doing them.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people would be like, I'm flat, and it's more because they probably haven't got as much muscle as they think. You know what I mean? They're saying about being flat, and actually, in reality, on prep, being a bit flat is kind of part and parcel of it, right? From time to time.
Do you find you feel worse as well after it? Like I had a high day yesterday, 450 carb, and I felt sluggish and shit all day long. Like all day, I was like dragging my ass, and now I feel good, like because I guess all the like the glucose is out now, so I feel good again.
So how I've worked it out with my own body is the first lot of high days I did, I don't think I really needed. I don't think I was lean enough to really make use of them. How I judge that is because I felt sluggish as fuck when I got in.
But I dropped half a pound.
Yeah. So this time round, I feel as soon as I was, because I didn't realize how low I felt. I didn't, just crack on. I just thought I was fine. I just thought, oh, it's fine, whatever. And, it's easy, just tick boxes type of thing. But it's only until I put carbs in today and had a couple of days of cardio, realised that how low I was today, mate. I feel absolutely buzzing, full of energy.
Yeah. I felt great yesterday. Like, yesterday I felt great, but today, fuck me. Like, I wonder if that's because obviously I don't, because I spent like 8 days on 0 carb and then putting them in, your body's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Keep spiking your blood sugar, don't you? So you're getting massive peaks and then.
And I mean, like 450 carb ain't a lot, is it? I do that in 1 meal.
It is for you though, compared to what you have been on. It's relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Do you find yourself on a high day like having to prevent yourself from wanting the next meal? Like, so you have it, and then like almost sets you off that you want the next one.
High days are my hardest because like when I'm not eating carbs, it's easy. I'm not hungry at all. And now, like when I get a high day, I'm like always like, as soon as you get that one bit of carbs, you're constantly like, it's on. That's why I'd rather be on like 0 carb than 100 carb.
Do you use a GDA when you do them high carb days?
No.
Maybe implement a GDA next time you do one, and you might find that your blood sugars are more stable, or some berberine even.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to risk because obviously metformin and that it can be a little bit. It can disturb your digestion.
I wouldn't mess with metformin. Just a GDA, something like glycomat.
Even still, even do you know what? I've never used berberine, so I'm not sure how I'm going to respond to it. But that's always
when I've done a high day in the past, I've always used Nova Rapid every other meal, and that's worked quite well.
That's what I've done today.
Yeah.
And reduce your fats.
And reduce fats, yeah.
Do you not find that you're like you're lean enough now though that you're insulin sensitive already?
Yeah, but it's just increasing storage capacity, isn't it?
Mm.
I always find the day after a high day the worst.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like the day of, I'm still sluggish, like you say, but then the day after, because normally my high days are on leg days, so I've got a double whammy of, having trained legs on a high.
That's what I did yesterday.
And then the next day, you're just like, is this all I've got?
Yeah.
And there's normally a rest day as well.
Yeah. You're making sure you space your meals evenly as well. Because obviously you get a high day, you're hungry as fuck, and you just want to cram them all in, and then, your blood sugars are all over the show. And
I start because at the minute I'm up at 3, so then my first one was at 6, so every 3 hours or like whatever. So
how's all your sleep? Like everyone's sleep? How are you doing?
Decent, I'd say decent.
Yeah, I'm still managing 6 hours minimum a night.
Yeah,
I'm
not sleeping as much as off season, but yeah, it's still decent.
Because we just got the dogs yesterday, so I literally must have got about 2 hours of sleep last
I'm pretty sure, Chad, yours is a bit fucked, isn't it? Your sleep.
No, because by 8 I'm asleep.
Oh, okay.
So I've put myself in that routine because of the dogs. So I'm up at 3, so I can train at 5, so I can get a meal, train at 5, do my cardio, all that, be back for 7. Because then my missus, she's got college, she's got a school run, she's got someone's got to be in with the puppies. So I need to train at that time.
What you weight train, you resistance train at that time?
Yeah.
How do you find that?
Mate, honestly, I got so much energy and I feel my strongest, like oddly enough.
So you're on 0 carb and you train at 5 a.m. and you're strong.
Yeah.
I used to do the same on my first couple of preps when I was working. I used to live in West Dorset and work in East Dorset, about 2-hour drive. So I'd sleep in my camper van, set my alarm for 4, not quite 3, but 4, get in, do my cardio. I'd probably do part of my strength session then, go and do a 12-hour shift, and then finish off cardio and strength in the evening. And the morning session was always better.
What different?
I could train now, but I would rather train first thing.
There was
I get up, I almost like wake up and I'm like full of energy. I'm like, I'm good to fucking go. I get up, I hydrate. So that's why I get up at 3, hydrate, get my first meal in, take my pre-workout, all that stuff, turn up, train, do my cardio, come back, and I'm like, right, now steps. So by 8 o'clock, I've done my training, my cardio, and like 85% of my steps. And then at that point, I crash. I'm like, oh, for the rest of the day.
What's your sleep like, Dan?
Good now. So my Achilles heel in prep has always been sleep deprivation. Always been it's been a fucker, but because of this one, she's obviously got loads of experience with
20 years of shifts,
20
sleep deprivation. Well, no, 37 years of sleep deprivation.
Yeah, and like night shifts and stuff. She knows how to wheel around it a little bit, so she's really like got it down to a fine art. So a lot of it's routine. Like we're really early, aren't we now? And we start our wind down a lot earlier as well. It's like an hour wind down going into bed.
No screens, generally.
No screens.
That's what I do, yeah.
And I have to medicate. So it's, for me, it's one Finnegan, half a Zopiclone, and then I have a smoke as well.
You're not sluggish in the morning?
Nah, great.
Really?
Half.
No, I turn the lights off exactly the same, and I've got like a wardrobe, so it's just got the like dimmed lights, and at like 8 o'clock, I'm like, ow.
Yeah, we've got these like lights in the bedroom that are like all like nice colours and stuff.
Yeah, really helps. Makes a huge difference.
I'll tell you what, I'm pretty lean at the moment. Obviously, I'm 17 days out, and I feel fantastic. Like I feel fucking good, and I think it is basically in previous preps, I've always been like, oh, maybe it's because I'm low body fat, maybe it's because I'm low food, but actually, it's the sleep. When your sleep's fucked, you're fucked.
I lose my head.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And everything, my attention span goes to shit, like my willingness to train, everything. But this prep, the sleep's been good, and I feel like I feel fine.
This is why, for me, it's the lesser of the evils to medicate, and I feel amazing.
And the grogginess for somebody like yours, all of yours, and my size, half a Zopiclone and a Fenigan isn't going to make you groggy the next day.
And like weed, it doesn't do it to me. Like I can be baked and I'm fine. Then a lot of people talk about like, oh, they're worried of eating in the night and shit like this. I don't get that. Like I've got a head on my shoulders. I know what I really want. In my opinion, if you're baked and you're going to go eat a fucking bag of cookies or something, you still know what your real wants are, and your wants for the cookies are more than the show.
Yeah.
Not like
I think a lot of the people who talk about that are, as you say, they're the kind of people that are into like the food side of things rather than the fucking result. Do you know what I mean? To be honest, what I've got into recently is it's really basic shit, but like we put on this like spa music. And I put it on really low volume, so it's just calming as fuck. It's almost like the patter of rain.
Have a good time.
And it fucking works, mate. Like within 5 minutes, I'm gone.
I find that with podcasts, so I'll put like a random podcast, like fucking Joe Rogan or something, but almost to the point where I can't even hear it. Because if I can, I listen to it. If I put it on
does make me fall
really low volume, I can't even hear it. Almost like acts like distract your brain or something, and you just fall asleep. Yeah,
I was going to say the guy that makes me fall to sleep is the hypertrophy coach. I don't know what it is. It's about his tone of voice. Honestly, every time I just get bored and I end up falling asleep. Good as his advice is, I'm not disputing he's not intelligent, but every time.
I think what you said there, Dave, is the key. It's volume. If it's too loud, it's almost like going in too much. But when it's quiet, it's just like this like calming noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, monotone. Yeah.
Mate, I'm a bit annoyed at myself for not realizing this years ago. It's the sleep. It's not the food. The food I can handle all day long. It's the fucking sleep. When your sleep's fucked, it's grim. Grim. So yeah, my advice to anyone listening to this, like fucking prioritize how you get your sleep on prep.
Do you nap in the day?
No, I actually don't right now. No.
Yeah.
I don't.
I was gonna say, sometimes I'm like, after I train, or like midday, I'm like, fucked. So I'm like, shall I nap? But actually, I hold myself and I don't, because I know that that's gonna backfire in the night.
Yeah, save your sleep until later.
Yeah.
I had it.
Sometimes you think like, because I can't sleep at night, I'll try and get like a little bit of a nap now. But that half an hour nap can offset your night's sleep.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we
get through another couple of questions?
Yeah, let's do that then.
I'm off.
What's that one? Right, a lot of these they get generated by the app. I'm fucking sure of it.
Oh yeah.
What's your fave song? What's your dream job? Where are your parents? And fuck off.
I've had to delete NGL. I was having. It's always it's only one or two guys or whatever who just fucking skinny as fuck and just want to throw you abuse. And like, I'm like, all right, fair enough. But at the same time, especially in prep, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see negativity.
I know what you're saying. Right, here you go one, and I kind of touched on it earlier, Craig, in the car with you, but what's your guys' opinions on growth hormone timing? What kind of protocols do you use and why? For example, some do post-workout, some do AM, some do PM, or only training days. Opinion.
All
right. Who's going to take it?
Okay, so what we know of growth hormone, there is a maximum absorption rate which you can handle at one time. We know this. So, for example, females, a lot lower than men. Typically, it's about 1 IU. Actually, like at a time. So generally, like a WPD pro, we use 1 IU pre fasted cardio and 1 IU pre bed, and that's about it. That's all they need. Whereas men, for our purposes, we're all super heavies here. We're going to fall into a higher category, so we're going to use more. So that microdosing is going to be more needed, I guess, in that way, because we're using more amount. So I'm using 8 IU. For me, I would split into 2 IU increments. So I'll go 2 IU fasted cardio, I'll go 2 IU pre-workout, 2 IU post-workout, 2 IU pre-bed.
Yeah.
Just a ball ache remembering. But
I tried to do that. Yeah. I tried to do I always do 2 in the morning, and then I'll do like 2 pre or post workout, depending on like which one I can remember, and then 2
I
at
think it
night.
takes
Sometimes I
about-
forget, so I'll just whack all of it in before bed.
I think it takes about 90 minutes to peak anyway, doesn't it? So actually taking it pre-cardio.
oh no, like
Really good work.
I won't do cardio until probably about
Right.
90 minutes when
Yeah.
20.
Well, I take it as soon as I get up. So at 3 a.m. I take it, and then cardio.
I've got fuckloads of steps to do, so I actually walk the dog first thing before I do posing and all that.
Do you think it matters that much? You know, when people are like,
That's what I was about to say.
just fucking
That's
take
what I
it.
was saying. That's what I was saying today.
Take it.
Brian.
But
Yeah.
for me,
People worry too much.
it is a case in terms of actual timing of it. I don't think it matters all that much because we know it's endogenous growth hormone. We know that by having carbohydrates around growth hormone is not going to shut it off because we're putting it into our body.
Yeah.
But to me also, if we know there is a maximum amount we can take at one time, or maybe there is, maybe there isn't, I'm not going to risk my money and the amount of growth hormone.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go on the side of caution and just do 2 IU increments.
Do you know what? I think in a prep, that's fair enough because like everything's scheduled and regimented. In an off season, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I forget it and I'm just take it all in one shot before bed. I'm like,
why is growth hormone so hard to remember? Like, I remember everything. The growth hormone is the one that I have to remember.
Because it's in the fridge and you just kind of, because you got to pin it and you actually probably can't be bothered to do it most of the time.
There's been times in off season where I've gone to bed, I've brushed my teeth, I've just got in bed and I'm like, shit, I've not done my growth hormone. Yes. But it's off season, so it's like, it don't matter.
I've been using 8 IU since like October time, so it's really in my routine.
Yeah.
I just know.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems I find is that this question is whilst it is valid, it's a valid question, but in it like overthinking, like most of the people that ask these questions have no business worrying about something.
Exactly.
You haven't even got a physique to speak of, right? You haven't got you don't get your diet right, you don't train hard, you're not got muscle, and you're like,
Bottom line is just fucking take it.
Probably shouldn't be spending their money on growth in the first place.
Yeah.
If you're not getting on stage, you don't need growth hormone, in my opinion.
This is enough. As soon as on Saturday, I posted my morning supplements and I did a video of it all. As soon as I posted that, my inbox goes.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, "Bro, it's that P5P. Do you think it's really good?" I'm like honestly, and it's always guys that aren't. I'm sorry, I know it's a bit cuntish, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think too many people focus on details that are more irrelevant to them than if they realise, you know.
Yeah.
You're using P5P at the minute for prolactin.
Yeah.
300 milligrams, 500 milligrams.
I don't know what the dosage is. I'm taking 2 a day, 2 pills.
Is it strong? Yeah, 300 milligrams.
Yeah, so it's something I've really got to manage, mate. I'm at 100% finishing this prep and booking in to get surgery.
Yeah.
Because like when I pull a front double bi and abs and thigh, it's like
I only noticed it when we talked about it in the group chat.
Well, yeah. Craig, you saw it the other day, didn't you? When we were
yeah. Saw it the other day. It looked bad, but today I didn't really notice it as much. It's just one of them, isn't it? Some days
it's water retention.
I was going to say, if you've had a high day or that can probably bring it out a little bit more.
Definitely.
But look, it's just worth getting. It's cheap enough. Just get it done.
You're stepping away from training for a few weeks, isn't it?
See, I've been put off for that reason, but it's like,
But like, look, the thing is, I think you almost want that after prep. That's why I booked my hair and teeth for after prep. So I'm like, it actually gives you a not excuse, but forces you into a little bit of a rest.
Yeah,
because it's really.
Can I ask your guys' opinion on that? You've just prompted something in my head. This is to Dan. Well, actually, it's to all of you, but obviously we spoke about it today, Craig.
I know what you're going to ask.
Yeah. Immediately post prep. So literally, we're talking prep's done the next day, and like let's say the 2 to 3 weeks following that point. do you think that is a good time to grow, or is it a time where your body is compromised and you need to recover more?
Have you got another show, or you're done your shows?
No, you're done. You're done.
No, your biofeedback is shit. You're not in an environment to grow at all. Your body's under stress. You need to return to healthy biofeedback. Let your body get healthy, happy. Then it will want to grow. Your body's not going to want to grow muscle tissue as its first response. Its first response is, well, we got fuckloads of muscle tissue. We haven't got a lot of body fat. What do we want? We want body fat. When you get that body fat up to a nice level and the body goes, right, I'm happy now, I'm sleeping. You're starting to shut off some of those hunger hormones, ghrelin, etc., like that. And your mood's coming up. Well, then your body can go, well, I can see the need now where we can grow some muscle.
It's like a list of like a hierarchy of importance, and growing muscle at that point you're compromised is not a high priority.
No, body just wants survival.
And what you just said, I agree with. However, I've never not just gone and trained immediately, and I've always grown fairly well.
Yeah, well, you normally go on a holiday straight after, or you're not like right back in the gym, and you're not normally like that.
Yeah, but even on holiday, I'll be going to the gym and stuff.
No, yeah, but it's different, isn't it? You're going and you get a pump. You don't fucking squat.
I still train because all that food I've eaten, I want to see it in the mirror, like crazy shit.
Yeah, but it's more like pump training, isn't it? It's not like.
Because you see the compensation with glycogen, you feel you're looking your biggest ever, and you're still lean. So you're getting that misconception that you are growing muscle tissue, where really it's just stored glycogen and water retention.
Yeah, it is that, but at the same time, I'm going to still go train, and maybe I might.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I might be off the gas a little bit, but part of like this bodybuilding journey, what we're doing within this short term within our lives. That's one of the experiences I really enjoy post-show. I want to be there for that.
Yeah. I think your motivation at that point as well, sky high, to just dive back into an off-season. You literally can't wait. Or I know mine has been.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, that dopamine hit that you get, like, so you see yourself looking at that. That's part of the fun. That's one of the main reasons why we all do this. Dave, what do you reckon at that stage? Do you agree with Dan?
This is exactly what. So my last show is on the 7th, and I fly on the 9th. That's why.
You can have a little bit of downtime, so to speak.
Well, I'm out for I think 5 days to get both procedures done, then back, and I think after that you can't train for about 2 weeks, something like that. I probably won't wait 2 weeks, but I mean, how long did you not train after your hair transplant?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So nothing for 2 weeks, and then at that point, I started going like 70%.
Probably still go arms, do some arms or something like that, But that's why. That's why I've intentionally booked it, so I can go straight away, get it done, not like 2 months after,
I'm planning whatever show I end up doing. Wink, wink. I'm going to get my hands tattooed after, so I'll have to have a few days off, let it heal over.
Yeah.
So, but that's not me thinking, to force me out of the gym. It's just a good time because I'm not going to do it in prep, am I? So I'd have days off. But generally, straight after a show, I'll have 2 or 3 days off just to breathe a little bit, sleep. Then I'll get in the gym and I'll be back to normal pretty much.
Exactly the same as me, mate. Exactly the same. 100%.
I think you should go by how you feel. If you feel like I want to take a couple of days off, take a couple of days off.
I remember going into the gym and just after last prep, I trained back. So I had 3 days off, so it was the 4th day after. I trained back, and I was 2 exercises in, and I had to stop. It was insane. Like it was so painful. I had to stop. I had to stop after 2 exercises. It's fucking madness.
But you're not going to grow. You may as well go, well, that's it then, that'll do.
Yeah.
Take a couple of lat spread shots. I do.
Quick, get the camera out.
100%. Right, another question. Whatever. Would you ever approach an off-season using Tren? If so, what reason?
I used to train all off-season. All my blasts, I keep 100 mgs of Tren in.
I'm guessing this person is thinking because Tren is is potentially harmful, they're thinking like, well, try and use it only for like final stage of
Yeah,
prep. I
but
guess that's what they're thinking.
okay, in an off season, you've obviously got your test base, then you've got your DHD, and then you potentially have, you've got a 19 nor like either a nandrolone or I don't get on with nandrolone. So then you've either got Tren, or I mean you got EQ, but EQ is obviously another kind of testosterone derivative. So ideally you want a 19 nor of some sort. And if you're using Tren, 100 mg does it.
Is that Tren in the off
Keeps
season?
your composition in, yeah. Keeps your composition a lot tighter.
Yeah.
I'm of the same thought process. Now, remember, this is for like advanced guys who've been using drugs for a while. This isn't something you do as a, oh, I've been cycling for 2-3 years. It's not like that. But for me, same thing. I just can't use MPP anymore. I tried again last off season. I had to pull it in 2 days.
I hate
Why?
it.
I don't
Why?
know
What's the reasoning behind the no
I
use?
don't know what it is. I know it's got neurotoxicity, and as does Tren, but for some reason that
Anxiety.
neurotoxicity, like in terms of like it's obviously memory and stuff like that. Over the years, it's got worse and worse. But when I use it where I didn't before, within 2 days, my anxiety's through the roof. And it was never like that before. But I have seen a gradual decline over the years of using MPP via my memory. Trend, mind you, I won't start off a cycle using it. I add it in at a pivotal point.
Yeah.
But again, that will only go up to 100 milligrams at max.
Yeah.
And the reason why I use that and not think about EQ in the off season is obviously EQ is kind of a new thing for me. Now, I used it in the past with Cuba a little bit, but I only really, my thought process for EQ right now is you either can use it or not, based on blood work, because if you naturally accumulate thicker blood, then it's probably not the best drug for you.
We just spoke about this before you came on about blood, giving blood.
My thinking for myself in off season, because obviously we all get quite heavy in off season. With weight comes higher risk of blood viscosity, right? Because your heart is obviously having to work harder to pump blood around the body. I probably don't want that compounding effect when I'm near 290.
That depends though. If you're like, my red blood count's never that out of range because I give blood every 3 months, and telmisartan can control that, and it potentially genetically too. Also, I'll take a baby aspirin. That helps.
I think that's it. Basically, it's kind of genetically determined. It's not like one size fits all. So for me, in the last 3 years, my blood count, all of my blood work for red blood cells and everything has been spot on.
Yeah, mine has as well. Mine's been really good, and that's why I convinced Tom to let me use EQ in this prep.
Yeah.
Which I've given that the credit as to why I've maintained such good fullness for a long time, whilst we went large gaps without feeding up at all. And it's synthetic fullness, but it's there.
Yeah.
I can only
I'll tell you what I love about EQ for. I start off the off season by driving up my test. I said that at the start. So then let's say we go 7, 8, 9, 1,000. That's where it peaks. At that point, my body weight starts to go up a bit too high, body fat's too high. So then at that point, I get estrogen issues. So I'll pull down the test maybe to 700, top up with 300 EQ. So I'm still at 1,000, but EQ fills that gap. And also it manages estrogen really nice.
Yeah, it aromatizes half the amount of testosterone, right?
No.
You
used to think that.
This is the thing. So with EQ, it's actually very person dependent. Across everyone, yes, it will aromatize 40 to 50% of that testosterone, but that's E2. We also have E1 in our body, and the extent of that expression that EQ has on you is genetic based. So, Dave, for example, your expression of E1 might be very, very strong with EQ, meaning EQ ends up being an anti-aromatization type drug.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I haven't actually quite worked out what it is for me yet. My expression of E1 genetically might not be as strong. So then naturally EQ is an aromatizing drug for me. This is something I spoke to Dave about, and there's no studies really on it. It's person dependent on that expression.
But that's where I heard it. That's who I heard it from, which is why I added it in. And my estrogen was in range at like 700 mg a test on,
So that's a cool drug.
Trend.
That's a cool drug for you then.
For that and not only that, but I love DQ for performance, for how I felt.
And that could also save space in the barrel for you, not in having to push up those DHTs so high. So then your HDL.
Well, I didn't use any DHT.
Well, that's it. And
At that point, yeah.
The HDL won't take as much of a hit then, will it?
Yeah, that was exactly the premise of the whole cycle.
This is the whole thing with this whole like safety model and all this. There's nothing safe about steroids. Everyone's going, oh, okay, 400 tests, 300 tests, keep tests low, and then let's put in a gram and a gram and a half of primo. It's still a gram and a gram and a half of anabolic. It's gonna deplete your your HDL. If, say, in the first 2 years, like, oh, this is a drug for me, but trust me, 5 years down the line, you're going to find out when it all of a sudden reaches a tipping point, your HDL is at 0.2 or 0.3.
Do you know what?
Person dependent, isn't it? You know,
I would much rather take half a Arimidex than use a gram and a half of Primo.
It depends on the person, but for you, maybe.
Aromacin, you know, I would much rather take 12.5 Aromacin twice a week than be taking a gram and a half of fucking Primo.
Well, in terms of the hierarchy of like proficiency of DHTs and AIs and whatnot, your letrozole is going to be at 95% proficiency, Arimidex 85.
Yeah.
Then it's, your DHTs, Masteron Primo. Then it's Aromacin. So Aromacin is technically less harsh and less harsh on HDL. Can't talk today.
I think this whole safer use thing is like what I think there's a bit of an epidemic of people are so obsessed with fucking running way more than they need to, right? A lot of the people that I coach, I don't think this is necessarily true for you, Dan. I think it is more for us three. I coach more lifestyle clients, and they're always obsessed with adding in this one, this. They go like, oh, should I put this in? Should I put this in? Should I put this in? They've got no business putting that stuff in. They have no idea what the fuck's happening to their blood work. They have no idea about any of it. They just want to just chuck in drugs for the sake of it.
Yeah. You know what? With my clients, I don't get that because I think I have that like reputation of being like the gear guy. So people like come to me and like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Like when it comes to like steroids, so they're like, oh, I won't even question. I'll do whatever you say. Whereas you, right, and you're a little bit more like, oh, I don't give a shit. Gear doesn't like, and I'm not interested in it. So at that point, they're like, well, you know.
I think sometimes I don't give them what they want. When clients come to me, I think I might disappoint them. I've almost got like a copy and paste that I give to everyone, and it's like get the most from the least.
Yeah.
Right? Just try and get away with using this much rather than fucking pummeling it in, which is what I try and peddle to basically.
We all do
everyone.
that though. We're not going to force 2 grams of gear on a client. None of us will. But equally, you know, it's kind of like if someone, I think we certain clients are more likely to kind of like be attracted to, say, me and Dan because we speak about drugs a lot more than you do.
Yeah, we spoke about this in the group chat, innit? Yeah, like I'm less into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that though, but according to my clients, like the demographic that come to me aren't drug guys. They're all training guys.
No, but I'm saying like we're more fascinated by we research into drugs and we enjoy that part of bodybuilding more than Ryan does.
For me, it's a necessary evil. But for me,
like when we spoke about the L-carnitine, I was like, I want to try it just because I want to see what it's like. And Ryan's like, I don't give a shit.
Oh, by the way, on Friday, Martin, on my check-in, Martin was like, have you ever tried injectable L-carnitine? And I was like, oh. So I ordered it today.
You say that. I spoke to Martin on the Wednesday before about L-carnitine.
I mentioned you. I said, Dan Bastick's been talking about it quite a bit. So I think you got it in his head.
We train legs together on a Wednesday.
Okay, well then whatever you said to him is now going to my body.
Oh, maybe. Sorry.
Oh, let us know how you get on with it.
Yeah, well, fuck it. You know, Martin was like, he goes, if you're up for it, then why not? And I'm like, okay.
Bro, it can't hurt.
For me, I'm saving it towards the end as like a cherry 1% type thing. I've pulled it out for now just because I was making loads of progress. And then towards the end, when I want to just get everything out of everything, I'll put it in. But
that's kind of where I'm at now, you know.
I don't think you're on Yohim by now, you're Ryan.
No, not anymore.
Oh, so you was on it. Right, okay.
I can't use it.
Right.
It really scats me out. I can't use it.
Yeah, you can do.
No, not just that. Just mentally, I'm like, like go in the gym and I'm like this, like just a bit weird. It weirds me out. So I just rather not use it.
What's
Maybe
that?
you eat too much.
Yeah, him buying.
Okay, yeah.
The same like when we spoke about
MPP.
MPP.
With Clem, doesn't it?
The same like when we said about MPP. I've used it so many times. Every single time I've tried it, it just gives me that like sad and like almost like down feeling where I wake up and I'm like, it's not like annoyed, but it's like sad. It's like, but for no fucking reason. It's like, I've got no reason to be annoyed or whatever, but I just am.
Hey, listen, I don't even necessarily expect you guys to agree with me on this one, but I definitely think a lot of the time correlation does not mean causation, right? So sometimes, for example, you might be reaching peak strength. At that time, you just so happen to be using NPP. Then all of a sudden, you've now made that link. Well, most NPP are strong. But actually, it could be a whole host of things. And I know from personal experience, even with myself and with clients, sometimes it's not necessarily what you think. Sometimes you might just be on a fucking cruise. You might be fucking maxing out weight or something. So sometimes, you could say 100%, mate.
Okay. You added, okay.
So
you're trying to tell me.
One more.
Okay.
The biggest and most full I ever am is post-show when you start eating. And whenever I do that, I always go down to TRT. And for the next 8 weeks, I'm the fullest I've ever been. And I'm on TRT.
Hold on.
That's your sensitivity.
Exactly.
So you're trying to say...
My point being is, people will talk about fullness with trend, they'll talk about test, but actually it's just fucking get lean and get full.
I get your point. However, are you arguing that adding in trend does not make you stronger? It absolutely fucking does.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, trend definitely makes you stronger. I'm stronger now than I was at the beginning of prep.
Right. And this is why when you said to me, "Are you still strong?" I'm like, because my trend went up from like 2 to 300. I felt that, and I'm like, I'm almost like, what the fuck? How am I stronger now than I was at the start of prep? It's like what?
Well, me and Craig trained together and trained together today, and like my strength was fucking good today, right?
Yeah, it was through the roof. I matched you on everything. It was like he was ahead of me.
I'm actually struggling a little bit because this is the first time I've been up to 225 meg of tren in a long time. Because obviously I've been in off season so long, I've only really gone up to 100.
Yeah.
And with my strength and stuff, and obviously body fat coming down, my body doesn't want to. It's not as like together as it is in off season. Like I don't feel as safe. So in the last few sessions, I've noticed a few little warning signs that like maybe back off the loading and.
It's true. Yeah, you feel more vulnerable, don't you? Like on pressing, like you can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you, Dan, we're not like you're strong, if that makes sense. Like, we're not. None of us are barbell. None of us are barbell inclining 4 plates anymore, and none of us are pulling 8 plate deadlifts.
Only because we don't do it. But I feel like I could have tried.
Yeah, exactly. It's more practice than anything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For you, that's the norm. For you, that's the norm. I mean, you were doing like 4 plate barbell incline like 4 weeks ago.
Again, I think it's just because I choose not to because of the risk.
Yeah, but we spoke about this. We choose not to do that anymore because we've got her, and that.
I think it's an age thing as well.
Yeah, Dan, you're 26, right?
Yeah, but mate, my body had a hard paper round.
No, it's not an age. It's not an age because I'm 25. So obviously it's not an age thing. It's more
what I've been doing to protect myself and still go to failure. Is my first set where I'm strongest, or aim between 12 and 15.
Yeah.
Then my back off will be the same weight again, but naturally fall in lower rep range via fatigue.
No, I think it's more your choice of movements. Like, I would never choose to load a barbell incline anymore. I just would not. I'll go on a Smith, but not a barbell.
Yeah.
And I can speak like particularly from the point of the fact that I've obviously got a torn pec, but I'll still load obviously barbell like deadlifts and stuff. So I guess it's still At
what point do you start pulling those types of exercises out, more risky ones in prep?
I think it depends. Like for Ryan, I probably wouldn't do them at all. But like me and you, well, I don't know, I can't, obviously don't want to speak about you two, but like, my lower back doesn't get issue. I can pull to like the end probably.
Yeah.
So I found that with years, like, so I'm 35 now. When I was more towards like 30, I was still bench pressing 200 kilos 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it out. I was routinely doing 4 plates plus every week until the end.
I think if your body's telling you it can, you'll keep it in. If your body's
Yeah.
giving you warning signs, then that's when I think you need
Well, this is what I'm talking about, Craig, because I've had a couple of warning signs the last couple of days.
Yeah.
That's convinced me, like, one, I'm not deadlifting for the rest of the prep. Not my lower back or anything like that. I was fucking doing a chest supported rear delt fly. I felt a ping in my lat. Well, it's not my lat. It's like, it's in there, the lat upper in the armpit that attaches the tricep.
Right.
Then again today, I was trying to do an overhead EZ skull, and where that's in the length and range, just as I'm extending, it like shot up my tricep. So I was like, oh no, absolutely not. So I'm worried of deadlifting and my lat fucking tearing off. So that's a no now.
Do you find that I find on your story, Dan, is it seems to be a lot of people because of your deadlift prowess. Seems like you get a lot of people who are like that. Would you say that's a fair statement?
Very fair. As I say, my clients come to me based on training.
Yeah. You seem to have a lot of people who want to be big deadlifters because of how you are.
Overall strong. Like I have clients that aren't coaches of mine who are coached by other people, and I do their training. Like strong guys, like Jace, for example, I do his training. People, just people who can move load, but they want to refine it and understand how they can block in wave systems and how they can really make that useful for muscle growth. Because as we know, you can move load, but how does that translate in actually putting tissue on the body? It's a bit of a balance. It's not just move load A to B, is it?
No. In fact, we're talking about it as well today, weren't we, Craig? Like when I moved away from like powerlifting movement is when I started becoming a better bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I was way stronger probably 3 years ago, but I was.
Well, we said that on the last podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, I was definitely not as good of a bodybuilder. I was strong, and then I moved away from it, and now, the balance.
Because again, a lot of these things, they're skills. They're not so much.
Yeah,
it's a skill. Squatting is a skill.
You train the movement. You're not necessarily training the muscle. Yeah.
I think that's potentially why one of your weaker body parts is your chest, Ryan, because obviously you were married to the barbell bench press.
Yeah.
Whereas in my younger training days, I was married to dumbbell bench press, and obviously that converges, and that's obviously the function of the pec to bring it across your body, and that's I think that's where your weakness is now, and obviously your front delts take a lot of the load now.
Yeah, for sure.
Ryan, like you're pressing like the chest and whatever, you're so fucking strong. In terms of your progression model within training, your progression model surely can't be strength.
No, it isn't anymore. Definitely not.
You're already so bloody strong. So where do you go from there? Like, and your chest is still your weaker body part. So it must be something else.
Yeah. So basically, just at the risk of sounding a bit generic, I'm just focused more on how I'm moving it. So for years, it's almost like I'm trying to undo a decade pressing, because now I'm just trying to keep my shoulder blades tucked in and just trying to press with my chest. So I'm weaker technically, but I'm getting more load from my chest,
Yeah, absolutely. Because it gets to that point, and this is what a lot of guys they won't get. They won't get that. And JP has done so much for the industry. So this is not me dissing him, but a lot of people would take what he says literally and just think strength is going to build a big body part. As a beginner, yeah, but when it gets to the point where you've still got a shit body part and you're you're fucking squatting 350 kilos, there's something wrong there.
Yes.
It's not about strength.
Well, sorry, Dave. I think some people can get away with so Craig, you have never thought about connecting with your chest. Your chest is ridiculous. Just works for you. For me, I don't have to think that hard about connecting with my back. I can just do it. I think sometimes like loading up movement, like you said JP does, work if you're genetically predisposed to having that as a strength of yours.
Yeah, because I bet when JP's moving these loads, he connects absolutely perfect. Like he touches it and it's on.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say, with like from tearing my pec, that's forced me into doing more volume. Meaning I'm gonna go, let's say on a Smith, I'm gonna go one, instead of doing 1 plate for 5, 2 plates for 4, 3 plates for 1, 3.5 for 1, 4 for a work set, I'll do 12, 12, 12, 12. Yeah. So I'm using less weight, yes. But what that does is it actually helps you engage with, like, build that connection.
Yes,
So almost
gets
like
the brain ready,
feel
the
it.
central nervous system ready.
I get that, but I find that the 1 plate and the 2 plate sets are almost, I'm not going to call them a waste, but I
They're
wouldn't,
not,
I wouldn't, I
because
wouldn't.
you almost like try and really focus on it. I mean, look, the 1 plate. Look, if you're pressing 5 plates, yeah, but we're not pressing 5 plates, are we? So I'd still say, you know,
To me, that's all about just building up to what you need to do. It's not
Yeah.
of you building muscle. It's just getting warm and safe enough to get up to a load you need to do. This is why me and Martin train legs together on a Wednesday, because we both have shit knees and we both have to accumulate reps and
Yeah.
work up as we go to get to our work sets.
and
think
work
you
up
need to-
slower. Like you might work up in 10s rather than 20s, right?
We work up in 20s for legs.
Do you know what? It's not even warming up the muscle. I mean, yes, that is part of it. Warming up the joints, warming up the muscle. But it's like getting the confidence.
Yeah, I was just
You know, when you first go there, you know, you felt like today, Craig. When I was doing some of my warm ups,
yeah.
I wasn't feeling right. But you know, 15 minutes in, I was fine. You know, because I built up that sort of connection, and I was, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, should we do another question anyway?
Do it.
I've got to go in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
We'll probably go. We started at 6, didn't we? So it'll be an
Yeah.
hour and 40 minutes. We'll be all right. Hour and 45.
Yeah,
I've got another meal as well before bed. So
we'll
I've got another 350 carb to do.
right. Last one then. Last one. Pet hates from clients, either if it's late check-ins, not eating the right foods, etc., etc. Each of us give a pet hate.
we've done that before. We've done it 100 times.
In which case, fuck it off then.
We do that on the group chat every day.
Half-assed checking pictures is what I'd say. Like,
Yeah,
how easy is it to?
Non-consistent lighting and checking.
Yeah. Different spots every time you check in.
You can always tell whether a client is in love with the process.
Yeah.
And part of that is that they
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
You know, one of the first questions that they ask when they join, it'd be like asking about cheat meals.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
probably.
I had that about a week ago.
Do you know what? One thing I don't get is coaches that do these like phone calls. They're like going to spend half an hour every fucking week chatting to their clients. Fuck that! I'm not your fucking babysitter or there to fucking, you know, spoon feed you. I don't need to fucking call you for half an hour. That's essentially what they're paying for. They're paying for like your time, to waste your fucking time. I haven't got the fucking time to sit there and chat to you. That does me in when they're like, oh yeah, I do an hour of fucking phone calls with my clients. Fuck that.
That might be part of their package, though.
Yeah, but why?
Might be their check-in.
Why do you need to chat for an hour with a client every fucking week?
We know it's not needed. It's hand-holding, isn't it?
But that's what I'm saying, exactly. I think that's such a bullshit fucking thing to do.
I agree.
I was asked that question last week, actually, about the phone call, and I was like, imagine if you had to take a phone call for
Nah, bro, I don't want to talk to you for an hour. Fuck that shit.
Like, imagine just scheduling the calls. It'd be, I don't know.
I fucking hate investing a bit of time in someone. You know, when they're like they show interest and join in, and then you spend a bit of time, and sometimes they might even want a phone call, and then they tell you, "Yeah, I'll probably join up in like June." You're like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Fuck off.
Do you know what? Like, if I'm like, right, we're gonna make some changes and this and that, and we're transitioning from a phase to a phase, I'd rather call you so then I can kind of explain, and it's so much like rather than like saves me typing in, and you can ask all the questions and it can be done and over with. But on like a weekly basis, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I think I'll get annoyed with clients who I explain to them in an introduction video. Everyone gets an introduction video, and I explain to them the direction that we're going in and why I implement as high food as possible, and over time we taper down.
Yeah.
And then I'll get the message, because usually they're under eating. When they join you, they're under eating. They're not eating enough protein, they're not eating enough in general. And they'll be like, hey bro, am I supposed to be gaining weight? And you're like, oh, man, I fucking explain. Food is going to be higher to accommodate training. It's going to be higher so then we can like taper over time. And even if they're like their waist measurement is going down and they're clearly getting leaner, but the scales have gone up, they start freaking out.
Yeah.
You know?
That initial period with a client as well. I'm not putting, even if they need to go on a diet, and I'll say that, I block out all their phases, how we're going to work through everything on a sheet. But I say to them, like, I'm not going to try and assess you physiologically and psychologically whilst you're in a stressful environment with a deficit. I'm going to put you in a surplus to get the best idea and learn about your biofeedback and how that is perceived by myself in those first 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah. They think there's this like magical equation that we like type in and plug in and we like spits out the diet. And it's like, no, bro, I'm fucking guessing. Based on what you tell me, I guess this guy needs this much. I put you on it and I see what happens.
Yeah.
You'll put them on like 2,500 to 3,000 calories, and they'll come back and they'll be like, "Oh, that is too much food, man. That's just so much food." And it's like, is it really?
That happens quite a lot.
An average man should be eating.
Like
that happens quite a lot. They see the diet and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so much food." And it's like,
yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to be this much food.
The underlying role of our jobs is to set a task, watch, and respond.
It's always about being reactive. You wait for what happens. Do this and see what happens, and then we'll make the next step based off that.
Yeah, it's not a framework. It's not a framework. It's adaptive in the moment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's it. People are like, they'll do it for like 2 days and they're like, nothing's happening. I'm like, bro, you've been on it for two fucking days. Like, fucking give it to me.
Yeah, if you've never been on a diet for like 5-10 years, and then you go on a diet and expect mountains to move in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I'm not getting leaner.
Yeah. Well, anyway, should we call time on this, boys?
Yeah.
Call time on it. Thank you very much for your time, boys.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. Catch you later.